Well, finally made it on the water. It's about midday and I'm off on another backcountry adventure on a river I've never done before. And this one is, again, pretty close to home. I'm only about an hour and a half away from home. And this is a world-class multi-day run. This is the Black River in Quebec, La Rivière Noire. And it's one of the big three rivers that canoe trippers around the world know about and want to visit. You got the Noire, the Black River, you got the Coulonge, and then you've got the Des Moines. All of them amazing and very different in their own ways. Now, I've done the Des Moines. I did that a 7-day trip on the Des Moines this spring. Have only done single sections, day sections of the Coulonge. This is my first time on the Black. I am not doing it like most people do it. Most people, I'd say 99% of the people who do the Black or any of the rivers of these three rivers do it in a canoe. They're classic canoe tripping rivers. I'm doing it in a Packraft. This is my testing, my first time ever doing a multi-day trip in a Packraft. And I'm using the new NRS Neutron Packraft. It's their first Packraft. And it seems to me like this is the perfect river for a Packraft adventure, but something tells me I'm going to learn a lot about what is good and isn't good for Packrafting. And this is how I like learning. I love throwing myself into the fire intelligently, not just without any thought, but throwing myself in and having to learn the nuances of the activity along the way. So here we go. Well, this isn't a really long trip. It's a 3-day trip. I've got to cover around 16, 17 kilometers per day. So around just over 10 miles a day. The way it's looking right now, I mean, the water is not super low. We've had some good rain this early season. And so the river is up. But no, this is fantastic for the Packraft. This is a 8-foot long boat, not designed to cut through the water and cover distance like a canoe. That's why people love canoes in the East, because there's so much flat water that you really need to cover ground. You need a boat that covers ground. But I've only got 15 kilometers left. It's gonna wind all the way through this valley, and there should be looks like there's some great campsites along the way. Got a couple of rapids, little ones. I got more rapids tomorrow, and then the most rapids on day 3. I finally made it to the Black. There's that family of ducks again. I've been chasing them for, gosh, well over a mile. Well, not really chasing them. They're on the move downstream, and so am I. I've already learned some valuable lessons about tripping in a Packraft. Twice already I've stopped on shore and then watched in the distance as gear of mine has floated on by. And the big lesson is tie your gear into the boat. It's easy for bags to fall off to the side, for things when you're getting out, you don't even notice it because it's a big cockpit, but when you have lots of gear, like I've got more gear than most people would take because of all the camera gear, and I knock things accidentally into the water, but I don't notice, and then I see them drifting by in the current. So I guess the second one is dry bag everything. that should go without saying, but clip everything in, tie everything down, because it's easy for things to go for a wander without you knowing. First bit of whitewater on the Black River. It doesn't look like that much of a big deal from here. It's whitewater, but they call it class 2, and you never know, especially with water levels, you never know. It might be a big class 2. The classification of rapids is very loose. You know, it doesn't take into consideration size so much. It really is more an indication of a rapid's technical difficulty and consequences. And so class 2 indicates low technical difficulty and low consequences, but it doesn't mean there aren't going to be big waves in there. So, and some big holes to avoid. But there's one way to find out. Oh, almost forgot. These things have thigh straps. That will definitely be nice to use. Around the corner. Nope, looks good. Looks good. Yeah, there's a hole in the middle there. It is a cool thing about a Packraft. This thing it's designed to handle pretty significant whitewater. You know, I'd say the only limitation of this Packraft in whitewater is the fact that it doesn't have a skirt. It is self-bailing, and so what that means is the floor is inflated, and so you're sitting up off you're not just sitting in the water, which is nice for one, but any water that comes in pours down off the sides of the floor, and there's holes in the floor of the boat, and so the water actually drains out. Much like a scupper holes on a sit on top kayak, same way it really works. But it takes some time for that water to come out. So if you have got a big wave that's completely swamped you, for a while, until that water self-bails, you're going to feel like a barge. You're going to be paddling around an extra couple 100 pounds, and you just lose any kind of maneuverability when that happens. And so that's kind of the limitation with a Packraft without a skirt, is if it's a big enough rapid and it has a technical enough move so that, hey, there's a good chance I'm going to get swamped, and then I have to make a move after that. That's probably pushing this boat. Oh, a bit of a breaking wave at the bottom. That might get me wet. Can I miss it? Oh yeah. Time to step out. Oh, I think that's it for whitewater for today. Just have a good chunk of flat water to get to where I'm hoping to camp. Like I said, I'm hoping to make 10 miles today, 16, 17 kilometers, which shouldn't be a problem. And it'll leave me plenty of time to have a relaxed setup of camp. Oh, but I could use a little stretch. Well, I think I might have found camp. I mean, I could keep looking and possibly find a better one, but it's not going to be much better. This is pretty sweet. Almost dinner time. This is kind of a cool tent. This is a new tent I'm just testing for the first time. This is the Cimarron from Seek Outside. It's a 4-person tent if you use the whole thing, and it's a teepee style tent. It's got just the single pole in the middle, and this is a carbon fiber pole that you can get from them, and so it's super light. The whole unit is super light. It's got this half nest, so for 2 people, you can be bug free. But if you're not worried about bugs, then it's good for 4 people. And it also it's designed as a hot tent. So they have a stove that goes in here for winter camping. But I won't be needing a hot tent tonight. Man, actually it's too hot right now to be dealing with this. I'm gonna go get some food, get something to drink, and come back and set up bed later. I wonder what could be in this insulating bag. A beer, perhaps? A well-earned beer. It's kind of a tradition to bring 1 beer on a trip and have it in a special spot on the trip. I would say this qualifies as a special spot. It's still hot. I feel like I need to go for another swim. And it's almost 8 o'clock. Sun will be down by 9, or setting at 9. I'm gonna make some dinner. Well, yeah, I'm gonna start making some dinner now. I'm testing a jet boil for the first time. Yes, for the first time, I've never used a jet boil. And so here we go. I am looking forward to it because, you know, they are known for fast cooking, simple meals. Although they do more than that, but they are definitely specialists in that area. And I'm a specialist in eating fast cooking, simple meals. Italian sausage and zesty tomato sauce with farfalle pasta and Parmesan. Pinnacle Foods. I've had Pinnacle Foods before, so this isn't like a first time test. And I really liked them. So this is a follow-up test. I haven't tried this recipe, so, but it sounds good. 1 1/4. This is, so it's not much. Yeah, that's about, hey, you know what, better off too much. Oh yeah, sun is dropping. An immediate change in temperature. I think I'm gonna make it. It's time. It is definitely time. Oh. Would you like to see? Would you like to see? See, I don't know if that looks appetizing to you. Probably sitting at home with a fridge, but after what I did today, this seems heavenly. That's really good. That's really good. I don't know if I've had a dehydrated meal that I've said that's really good about, but it's been a while. I mean, I know there's some others, but that's really good. The hum of the mosquitoes is pretty loud right now. Good thing I don't need to leave the tent right now because they've got me cornered. But I'm not going anywhere because the sun has set. I am whooped and I'm going to bed. So I'll see you in the morning. Hey everyone, I just wanted to take a quick minute to thank a sponsor because sponsors really do make it possible for me to make as much content as I do. And I only work with sponsors who make products that I truly believe in. So with that being said, the sponsor of this video is Waterways, which is a new and free app made by paddlers for paddlers. More specifically, it's designed to be an all-in-one tool for knowing how, where, and when to go paddling. It's like an interactive guidebook where you can find all the information you need to plan your paddling trip. You can measure distances, view access points, campsites, check the weather and water levels, find shuttle services, and see other paddlers' notes and photos. It's a collaboration between NRS, On Water, and American Whitewater. And it's a new app. Even though there's a lot of great information on there right now, more is being added every day. You can download it on the App Store or Google Play, and it's worth checking out. Thank you, Paddleways, and thanks to all of you for watching and supporting my channel because that's why I create all the content I create. So now let's get back to the video. gonna be a beauty day. A bit more overcast today, which I am totally down with. There's a mound of energy. Well, I'm gonna try to get off to a good start. No rush, that's for sure. Getting an early start, I'm gonna make it pretty far today. We'll see. It really depends on the current and the whitewater. Quite a few more rapids. I love not knowing. Well, almost packed up, ready to go. I've got a bunch of whitewater, bunch more whitewater today, so I'm not I'm gonna stow my fishing gear. It's the one thing with the Packraft that you have to really think about is your gear, because when you don't want to have to deflate the boat in the middle of the day in order to get at gear that you stowed inside. So anything that you think you want access to during the day, you should really just keep in the boat, in a dry bag on the boat. So I have things like, I'm keeping my water filter out, because man, I'm already sweating buckets. I've already drank a full liter Nalgene and I'm chipping away at the second. So bring the water filter, bringing TP, toilet paper, bringing first aid kit, repair kit on the outside. If I need to do repair, I don't want to have to deflate. Snacks, all the food I need. So really, you got to think through things a bit more and maybe take a little bit more outside of the boat than you really in the end probably need. But in case you do need it, you want to have it accessible. I had heard that there were good camp beaches on the Black. Not that beaches are necessarily the best camp spots, even though they look idyllic. Gosh, sand gets in everything. It's definitely one of those love-hate relationships, but they are pretty special. But I've never seen so many great camp beaches in this part of the world. Ontario, Quebec. I've never seen anything like this. I see some splashing up ahead. Some mellow ones to start, class 1 and 2. Oh, that feels good. A little splashage. All right, next one. This one's a bit more to it. Class 3. This one's called 50-50. Definitely more of a drop than the other rapids I've seen. Still can't see the rapid itself. I might actually have to scout this one. Oh yeah, she's good to go. Nice. Woo-wee. Did 50-50 there, and now got a bit of a stretch here, probably 4 kilometers before we get to the next one. Back to the whitewater. Class 2-3 here, not a very long one, but I'm guessing like a pool drop rapid. Looks cool though. The river's really seems to be narrowing, or at least bending hard. We'll soon find out. And this is kind of the section, the start of not continuous whitewater, but a fair bit. Oh, pretty wide open wave train, it looks like. Cool spot. Look at that campsite. Wow. I almost want to just get out and lie down on that beach. It's just so nice. Except for the fact that I'll get ravaged by the bugs and cooked by the sun now that it's out. So yeah, not doing that. All right, next set of rapids. This is the longest section of whitewater. It's pretty, you know, it's about 3/4 of a mile of rapids, one after the other, class 1, 2, 3. Starts with Manitou Rapids and then Jamrock Rapids. They're both kind of a sequence of rapids. So seems to be the way with a lot of these rapids is there are things to miss that you have to read from the top, but like significant rocks or ledges or holes, but there's also a wave train, a pretty clear line. You can see most of the water's going through just right of center, and so that's where I'm going, because there's a rocky hole on the right in the center. Go around that one. All right. Nice. Took a fair bit of water on that one. It's drained quick though. That's good. But I almost filled right to the brim there. And it actually got a little wobbly there for a second. I had to throw in a brace. You know, I really don't know how much of a hit, a rock hit, this kayak can take, this Packraft can take. I have a lot of faith in NRS making Packrafts because they've been making rafts and inflatable kayaks that are designed specifically for hardcore whitewater for decades, like 40 years? I don't even know, but a long time. They really are a leader in it, but this is a lighter layup. I mean, the whole thing is like 11 pounds. This is a light layup. How much of a hit can it take? I am curious to find out, but I'm not really that curious to find out here. I don't want to learn the hard way that it can't take it, because I've got some problems. Well, here's the next one. Same thing though. I'm kind of taking this, I'm going to try to stay in the main flow, avoid any significant hits on rocks. I'll test that another time, another place. Nice. Oh, feels so good to get, it's like going for a swim. Immediate relief from the heat. Nice big wave train right down the middle. Almost feel a little bit like a cork in this boat, the way it just floats so high and gets knocked around so much by every little wave. You know, something going through those rapids made me think about was we talk about when you're paddling in rough water, whether it's whitewater, whether it's the ocean surf, whatever rough conditions it is, you know, the key, one of the keys is staying loose in the hips and letting the boat go with the flow. And while you keep your body upright. If you're stiff in the hips and the boat goes over, or your body goes over to one side, you're bringing the boat. Whereas if you're loose in the hips and the boat is rocking, well, your boat's just going to rock, but you can keep your weight centered over the boat and you're not going to flip. You shouldn't flip. But that, most people get the idea of keeping the hips loose and keeping your body centered side to side, but it also applies forward and back, bow to stern. And so if this is the boat bow to stern and you're in the middle, when you're going through short waves like I just did in a short boat in particular, and the boat is pitching back and forth, I'm staying loose in the hips and letting the boat do this, but my body is staying upright, and that just puts me in a position of control the whole time. And so you can think of it like riding a horse, letting the hips roll, but it's staying loose at separating the upper and lower body movements, letting them work independently but cooperatively with each other. Oh, yeah, keep going, keep going. this is it. This is the big finale right here. This little rapid, actually a beautiful rapid. This is the last rapid of the day for me. This is the last rapid of the Black River for me, because I just cruised through those last 7 kilometers, and the takeout is only 2 kilometers away now, and I have a good feeling it's just going to be a continued cruise. This has been a welcome surprise to the end of the journey. What a day to just float through. I literally, for a while there, quite a while, I stopped paddling and threw on some tunes and just floated. Well, there you have it. My Black River trip has ended a day earlier than expected. But that's okay, because I have some gear to dry out from last night, and I also have a big trip to prepare for. I'm heading to Lake Superior to do a week-long sea kayaking mission, and I am stoked about it. But it does take some work to get ready for a trip like that. I've never been there before. I've been to Lake Superior before, but never been to this section of Lake Superior. I've never done a multi-day of any type on Lake Superior. So yeah, this will be new. So that's it. That's all I got. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have, then give it a thumbs up. Let me know your thoughts about listening to music in the comment section down below. And stay tuned for more paddling tips, gear reviews, and definitely more paddling adventures with some paddling tips thrown in there. Oh, and there is a gear review coming out of this, of course. I will be doing a full review of the NRS Neutron Packraft. That's coming soon too. So I'll leave a link in the description box down below to that.